Every week, the Xfinity Editors pick the TV show or movie they are most excited about right now. And this week, there was so much good stuff that we decided to double up on our selections. Sammy, please get things started by telling us about the 2 shows or movies you can't wait to watch.
Okay, my first pick is none other than the US version of Love Island, which premieres its 5th season on July 18th on Peacock. This show used to air on CBS, but is now in its 2nd season on Peacock, which has significantly upped the ridiculous and I'll just leave it at ridiculous nature of the show. It's significantly more risque than any one that you would see on regular cable television, but just all the more hilarious and comedic. If you're familiar with the British or Australian versions of Love Island, this is basically the same, but without the accents and the fun slang, like gift of the gab, which is my favorite from the British version. But it does have the same intro, which which is just iconically Love Island. I know David is a fan of the show.
I am. I just want to go, I got a text.
I got a text.
But without the accents, I got a text.
Love Island is that summer reality show that we are all kind of looking for. It's very low brain power required. It's just like pure entertainment and you just sit and watch. You can be on your phone, but you also don't want to be on your phone because sometimes you just cannot look away from the screen. It follows a bunch of singles who hang out in a villa all day and occasionally couple and recouple up. If you're left single, you're vulnerable and are asked to leave the villa. It's also hosted by Sarah Hyland of Modern Family fame, although she's not in it too often, and when she does show up, it's usually for something bad. The last thing I want to mention about Love Island is that it airs Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
That is insane.
And with a additional episode on Saturdays. It's a commitment, but it is worth it.
Oh my God. I don't watch that. Yeah, I don't watch any of these shows. It's something I have against them. I just feel like I watch too much other stuff. And I get like this confused with like Love is Blind and Are You the One? Is that still on? Are You the One?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But I knew one of them had like 6 episodes every week or something. Yes, so it's okay. It's Love Island. Got it.
It's great. It was great for the pandemic era when there was just nothing. Like some of my favorite pandemic entertainment moments was Love Island. It is a big commitment, but you just have to get over that first week. Like once you've watched it, then you just become. It's like going to the gym. Once you get into the routine of it, it finally clicks. But well worth watching.
Yeah, absolutely. David and I will be watching if you want to watch with us.
Yeah, please.
My second pick this week is the animated comic book adaptation series on Prime Video, Invincible. Very different than Love Island, not in the same realm, may not even be the same fans. I might be the only one that crosses over these two. This is based on, like I mentioned, the comic book series, and I have been not so patiently waiting for season 2 after getting, I would say, addicted to this show when it first aired in March 2021. So we've been waiting a very long time. It follows 17-year-old kid Mark Grayson, who's voiced by Stephen Yeun, who is the child of a Superman-type hero named Omni-Man. As Mark finally develops his powers, he learns that his father may not be the hero that the world thinks he is. So it's it kind of reminds me of The Boys in a sense. It's kind of like just the animated version, superheroes being not all that we think they are, along with a lot of violence and blood shed and raunchy humor. But it's hilarious. It's really has a lot of heart to it, actually, surprisingly. And an incredible cast of voice actors, including J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Mark Hamill, Seth Rogen, and Zachary Quinto. I'm very excited for this one to come back.
It is
David, I think you watched this one, right?
I do. It is very graphic, but it you're spot on. It's animated The Boys, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, can't recommend it enough. And also like really well received critically too.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, both of these all in with a little reality raunch and then some violence raunch.
They balance each other out.
They do. Maddie, what are you looking forward to this week?
Okay, so my first pick this week is a movie that was totally not on my radar until recently, and now I'm super pumped up for its debut on Netflix. It's called They Cloned Tyrone, starring John Boyega, who I love, Jamie Foxx, who I love, and Teyana Paris, who I've recently discovered that I love from her role as Captain Monica Rambeau in the MCU, if you recognize her from that. The movie follows this unlikely trio who encounter a series of eerie events that lead them on a trail of a nefarious government mystery where they believe, kind of a spoiler, but not really a spoiler, that they're being cloned or they may be being cloned. This is a genre bender. The trailer is great. I urge you to check it out, which I love a genre bender. It's mystery thriller to its core, but it's a sci-fi movie because of the cloning. There's some weird stuff going on in labs. It also looks very funny as well. Jamie Foxx, as you know, is a fantastic actor, but also hilarious. So add in comedy as a subgenre. This will be the directorial debut from Jewel Taylor, who is best known from his writing in Creed 2, which I love the Creed franchise. I'm very well documented in saying that. And he listed the following as his influences for the film, which is such an incredible mixed bag. The first one being They Live, admittedly a movie I've never seen. David, I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah,
yes,
it seemed like a David movie. Also, Groundhog Day, a classic. It Follows, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
Good.
Fantastic. Love that movie. I still get scared thinking about it. And finally, Napoleon Dynamite, which to me is like a top 5 comedy of all time. I don't know how they plan to work that style into this movie. So there's a lot to be excited about for They Cloned Tyrone. Certainly one I'll be tuning into this week on Netflix. July 1st is the premiere date on that one. And then secondly, the Apple TV Plus series The Crowded Room will be finaleing on July 28th. I guess I've got a thing for mystery thrillers this week. Sammy did a good job switching it up. I'm kind of keeping the same vibe for both. This show follows Tom Holland just being an absolute creepy dude. Really not much more to say there. No, I'm just kidding. He is arrested for a crime in the first episode, and it's up to an unlikely investigator played by Amanda Seyfried to uncover what actually happened. The story is mostly told in flashbacks, and Tom Holland's character Danny reveals details to the investigator Raya about that day, his past, and a few pivotal moments in his life. Most notably, to me, Tom Holland is rocking a shaggy kind of curly hair cut in this show, as you can see in the poster art, which is a huge topic of conversation on my Instagram feeds when he was filming, because he looks quite strange. We're used to the clean cut Spider-Man. It takes place in the 70s too, explains the hair, which is fun with all the costuming. I've enjoyed watching it so far. But to be honest, the main reason I began watching this was to see if Tom Holland is successful in making his pivot to some darker, dramatic work. His last 2 endeavors into that genre fell a little flat for me. In the movie Cherry, I don't know if you guys saw Cherry, or Chaos Walking.
Didn't see that one.
Not the best, but
no.
You know what? He was actually pretty good in The Devil All the Time. I love that movie. It wasn't as well received as I thought it was. So he's okay there. But this is kind of like third time's the charm, hopefully. But this feels like a big step into his dramatic work. He's going to be playing Fred Astaire in a biopic coming up soon, so that's a huge undertaking. So I'm here cheering on Tom Holland from the sidelines and finishing up The Crowded Room this week. And we will see how his character Danny fares.
Yeah. Backing up to Teyana Paris from They Cloned Tyrone, I interviewed her back in the day for the Spike Lee film Chirac.
Oh, wow.
And it stands out to me. First of all, she's just such an interesting interview. She has the nicest skin of anyone I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen someone with better skin than her. So much so that like I've gone my entire life, and if you ask me what's the best skin you've ever seen in your life, Teyana Paris, hands down.
Wow.
Flawless.
Was this over video though, or you saw in person?
This was in person.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this was in person. She came to Philadelphia, and yeah, that's my story about there. But that list of movie inspirations is fantastic, and we have talked about It Follows on the show before, because we just always get a kick out of saying sexually transmitted ghost.
Yeah,
it's an STG.
It sounds like a Love Island.
Well, that too. These are very good picks. They Clone Tyrone also flew under the radar until I saw the trailer just recently, within like the last week, and it looks very good.
Totally agree.
Yeah. All right, my picks for this week. First, let's talk about the Peacock original series Twisted Metal, which is based on the popular Demolition Derby style PlayStation video game franchise of the same name. The show stars Anthony Mackie as John Doe, a milkman with amnesia who is tasked with driving a mysterious package across post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's basically The Last of Us, but he's a milkman instead. And along the way, John faces a gauntlet of road rage-filled characters played by Stephanie Beatrice, Thomas Hayden Church, Richard Cabral, Chloe Fineman, and Nev Campbell. Twisted Metal also features a popular clown-faced character named Sweet Tooth, who is played by professional wrestler Samoa Joe, but he only plays the body of Sweet Tooth. The voice of Sweet Tooth is performed by Will Arnett. I guess they just needed someone a little more hulky, because Sweet Tooth is like a big brute of a man. And you can check out all 10 episodes of Twisted Metal on Peacock July 27th. When AMC's, and my second pick, AMC's Dark Winds. When Dark Winds premiered on June 12th, 2022, the series was renewed for a second season just 9 days later, thanks to high ratings and an almost unheard of 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Even now, a year later, it still has 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Nobody messed it up like they typically do. Someone just has to be different. The show, which follows two Navajo police officers investigating a series of crimes in 1970s Arizona, also earned praise for its indigenous cast, writers, and filmmakers behind the camera. Dark Winds returns for a second season on AMC on Sunday, July 30th, but AMC Plus subscribers can watch every episode 3 days early, starting with the premiere on July 27th. In anticipation of these brand new episodes, AMC has sent us a What to Watch Live exclusive first look at a scene from the season 2 premiere of Dark Winds. Let's take a look.
Better be careful that thing don't melt in the sun.
It's a new synthetic polymer. Space age, Joe.
Well, PI work pays enough to stock up in space age monkey suits?
Don't entice me with your BIA police salary.
Giving any more thought to coming back?
Do what? Pound sand for a living?
You mean on the res?
I mean wherever sand grows.
Yeah. Res is getting more complicated.
When hasn't it? How's Bernadette?
I got a new rookie in the office. Think she might like the roly-poly type.
Wait, you kidding?
She's still pissed off.
At who? Any advice on how to work my way out of the doghouse?
I don't know, maybe she'll snap out of it when she sees that space-age fabric.
Couldn't hurt, though. Wait, could it? Hurt?
Unless you mean my eyes. Hey?
You're something else, Joe Leaphorn.
That's Dark Winds. Very, very good show. I don't know if either of you have watched it, but it is kind of got True Detective vibes a little bit in Arizona.
AMC loves like a desert drama.
They do.
You know, it's always like right up their alley. So the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes was the biggest selling point for me. I think I might actually check this one out. Not that I don't take your recommendations, David, but this one I'm into.
You watch a lot. I understand it, but this one is worth it. And the first season even has like little, very similar to True Detective, little tinges of supernatural where you're like, what's happening here? Is it a human doing these things or some sort of creature? It's really a lot of fun. So Dark Winds, season 2 premiere on AMC on Sunday, July 30th. Watch it 3 days early on July 27th with AMC Plus. And you can check out all the shows, movies, and specials we just talked about and so much more by saying what to watch into your voice remote.